I guess it's you and I, Prince, for today. I guess, needless to say.
I don't mind. I don't mind. You might as well get the show. The show must go on.
I know, yeah. Now we're also waiting for Paul 3 to join in just as well. And but I guess right now he's supposed to be getting off of work. He did DM me saying that he's probably be driving if he does call in. We're hoping he participates as well. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of Music Maniacs right here, right now. Me, me, myself, and Prince Idol are on the call right now. And this week we figure we pay homage, pay our respects, and pay a tribute to the one and only Quincy Jones, who, if anybody has not heard, passed away this past Sunday at the age of 91. He was 91 years old. And to say this man was a cultural icon would be an understatement because basically he's done it all. TV scores, film scores, his own albums, production companies, you name it, for
And
movies, TV,
ladies and
you
gentlemen,
name it.
ladies and gentlemen, I want to make this special announcement because not only did he did all those accolades, ladies and gentlemen, he helped produce a young man who went on to be the greatest performer of all time. I'm talking about no other than
Michael,
MJ himself, Michael Jackson.
yep,
Because
I
of
know, yeah.
Quincy
He
Jones,
produced three of his
Michael
successful
Jackson.
albums. He
Yes,
yeah, produced it Off the Wall from 1979,
yes.
produced the mega album Thriller, as well as the album Bad, which came out in 1987. Now
I
we
mean,
got information about him right
he
now, and
was my
he was involved. He was involved in the music scene, the entertainment scene for about since the 1960s. He
wow.
worked with Frank Sinatra. He did some arranging and conducting for the song "It's My Party" by Leslie Gore in the 1960s. He also had Quincy Jones Productions, which also later joined with Time Warner to create Quincy Jones Entertainment, QJE for short. And the company even signed a 10-year picture deal with Warner Brothers and a two-series deal with NBC Productions, now Universal Television. And one of the TV deals that came out of this was The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, featuring, of course, Will Smith in his acting debut.
Now you would. That's a funny question because it's funny because if he worked with Warner Brother, Time Warner's, when Time Warner's produced, well, Prince,
Hmm.
and you would think Quincy would have something to do with Prince, but they always kept it separate. They always said they were rivals, but how could they be rivals if they're under the same company?
Because
Nobody.
sometimes, because sometimes record labels would do that. If they had two competing artists on the record label, they'll try to make them out as rivals, so that way they could boost the sales of both artists' releases. They've done that many times. The media also tried to do this with two pop singers, Debbie Gibson and Tiffany, when they never were rivals to begin with. In fact, Warner Brothers, I think they tried to do it with both Black Sabbath and Deep Purple in the early 70s. That's how they usually do it at times. The more hype, the more boost in record sales. That's how it
Yes.
goes at times.
So they only had Michael Jackson and Prince fight because Michael at the time was with what Motown and Prince being in Warner Brother
Well,
and
Michael at that
Quincy.
time, well, Michael, well, at the time, Michael, well, at the time, Michael was on Epic Records, then distributed by CBS.
Mm.
He and his brothers left Motown in the early 70s when when their father, Joe Jackson, figured, Motown's going through a whole lot of bullshit, so they decided let's move on to a bigger and better label, Epic Records. In fact, the only person who did not participate in this new deal was, of course, Jermaine. He decided to stay with Motown to help them out with their issues because Motown paid for everything, schooling, you name it. They did a lot.
Right.
The only thing they had to do was change the name of the group because the Jackson Five was owned by Motown, so
I
they
don't
would
think he had a
later
choice
became the
because
Jacksons.
I don't think he had a choice I don't think he had a choice to leave because didn't he marry? Barry Gordon's daughter or something like that.
He did, yes. In fact,
So that's
in
why he
fact,
didn't.
well, it's not just that. Like I said, Motown did a lot for the Five Brothers. And of course, Joe Jackson, being the ego that he was, he felt like, oh, it's my blood running through my son, not Barry Gordy's. You know how
uh,
most fathers are when it comes to their offspring dating certain people, such and such. It happens a lot of times, even when you're not a celebrity.
my blood go to my boys, not Barry.
But
Oh
then
man.
again, but then again, Joe Jackson had a lot of issues of his own, and sometime we got to talk about that on
Paul
a
three, ladies
separate
and gentlemen.
episode.
Enter your room, ladies and gentlemen. Paul three is here.
There you are, Paul. How's it going,
Yo,
man?
oh, pretty good, man. Driving to a gig. What's going on tonight?
Yeah, we're doing our tribute to Quincy Jones, who passed away this on Sunday, and
Yes.
we figured we'd pay a little homage because the man has been involved in the career of music artists, his music career, production, composing. He did a lot of compositions for TV shows, Sanford and Son included. He also did for Ironside, the TV series, which starred Raymond Burr. He also was involved in the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, as we mentioned as well. He also,
And also, we had another passing that YR reached out to me this past week, and Prince's sister has passed away as well.
yeah, Tika Nelson, she died as well. She was 61 years
That,
old.
that was heartbreaking to me.
Yeah, that's sad because I guess she was one of the Nelson members of the Nelson family who spoke. I guess she tried a solo career of her own at one point. I remember.
Right.
Speaking of the Nelson, are you talking about Ricky Nelson? Is that what you're talking about? The Nelson
No,
family?
no, Tika Nelson, the
Oh,
sister
oh,
of Prince, the artist. Prince's
Yeah.
full
oh!
name,
I just came in on this conversation. Yeah, I thought you were saying Nelson, like Ricky Nelson and his
no,
two sons.
oh no, no, we're talking the sister of Prince Rogers Nelson. That was Prince's real
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, but Quincy Jones, interesting enough, he actually produced the hit Leslie Gore hit "It's My Party." If
Yes, I
you
was
remember
reading
that
it
from
up. Yes, I
19,
remember that as well. He also did
he goes
compos.
way back.
Yep. He also.
And you can't forget Sanford and Son. That is
Yep.
actually called the Street
Absolutely.
Beater.
Yep. Yes, I
Street
was looking
Beater,
up
like
at
what
as
a great
well.
song.
And
Yes.
it's all and its film credits for and his credits for compositions for films include Walk Don't Run, The Deadly Affair, In Cold Blood, In the Heat of the Night, McKenna's Gold, The Italian Job, Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, Cactus Flower, The Out of Towners, They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, The Anderson Tapes, the movie Dollars, The Getaway, and he also did themes for other TV shows like Rebob, The Bill Cosby Show, The Ironside series, and also a game show called Now You See It. He also was an arranger for Billy, cannot pronounce his name, Eckstein, I guess it's pronounced. He also worked with Shirley Horn, Peggy Lee, Frank Sinatra, Sarah Vaughan, Diana Washington, and Ella Fitzgerald. His solo recordings included Walking in Space, Smackwater Jack, You Got a Bad Girl, Body Heat, Mellow Madness, and I Heard That. And he also introduced the world to two unique singers, James Ingram and Tevin Campbell. Now, James Ingram did vocals on two of his songs, 100 Ways and the hit Just Once. That was featured in
Right.
an album he put out in 1981 called The Dude. And for Tevin Campbell, he sang on one song on his 1990 album, Back on the Block. That was a big hit on the R&B circuit. Campbell would have
Tevin
a whole
Campbell,
Tevin
such a
Campbell,
good
yep.
singer.
Yep.
Such a good singer.
He is. I think he's still active today. I know he probably posted a tribute if he has any social media outlets, probably X no doubt, or
Yeah,
Facebook.
I think he came out as gay recently, actually. But yeah, I love his song "Can We Talk." Like that is an R&B classic, man. Can We Talk?
I heard that came out during the New Jack Swing era, no doubt about that. And I heard, I
Yeah,
mean, they often play that song What at my job at times. Remember, we have
What?
yeah, they do. We have we have what we call a satellite thing. It's where they play all sorts of different music from different genres. They could play that along with Year of the Cat by Al Stewart, or maybe a
Okay.
Twisted Sister. It's all diverse, no doubt about that.
I like that. You get a nice selection. That's always good.
Yeah, just as long as you avoid the top songs and go for the deep ones. That's all I request. No, simple.
Yes.
Now let's also not forget, we were talking about the Michael Jackson albums that he produced. He'd done three of them, Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. And it was kind of funny, I remember this. Back around back around 1988 at the Grammy Awards, whereas there was supposed to be well, basically, there was supposed to be, they were hoping that Michael Jackson would win all those awards once again. But sadly, he did not. I guess the situation was that the album came out a little bit too quick, and didn't really have time to process and everything else. And plus, to try and to compete with the success Thriller had, it would just be impossible. And during, I guess during this award ceremonies, Quincy and Michael were seated together. They were praying, hoping they would win something. In fact, I remember looking over at an image they shot at Michael Jackson with his head turned sideways in disappointment, and Quincy was like, "Come on, come on, come on," and the award went to somebody else. I guess they were trying to, they were praying to win something like they did previously, but unfortunately, it did not occur. But then again, like I mentioned, how the hell can you top the unique sales at Thriller? I mean, think about it. Thriller sold mega amounts of albums. It sold how many copies? Had how many top 40 singles, which are still played to this very day? I mean, like that and Dark Side of the Moon still remains one of the top selling albums of of all time, of all mankind. When you think about it.
Well, definitely. But also with Thriller, I mean, the follow up was Bad, right? Bad was right after
Yeah,
Thriller,
that
am
was
I
the
right?
name. That was the name of the album, and the title cut
Okay.
had a little feature, a mini movie slash music video, and moved into it. That was directed by Martin Scorsese.
hmm Exactly. So I mean, if you look at the sales for Bad, though, I'm sure they weren't like anything to like be sad about. I'm sure the sales for Bad were amazing, but
They
just
weren't.
having that album like Thriller, following that up is a hard
Right.
task, even if you deliver something as good as Bad.
Yeah. Now keep in mind, the video for the mini movie that I mentioned, that also featured a young actor named Wesley Snipes.
uh,
Yep. And
that,
when you think about it, he had a hit single called with a lady named Saida Garrett called "I Can't Stop Loving You." That was a big hit. Dirty Diana featuring Steve Stevens, the Billy Idol guitarist. That was a big hit as well. It was
yeah,
about
oh
a
yeah.
groupie, which was about a groupie that could not say no. And also just another part of me, Speed Demon. And of course, we cannot forget the Moonwalker video cassette, which came out with the epic Smooth Criminal movie along with it, which introduces the whole world to Joe Pesci.
Mm. Kind of amazing all the things you can really trace back to Quincy Jones and all these little like different offshoots, of what he's created and how it influenced like pop culture and just like society and music in general. It's kind of amazing to look at.
Yep, exactly. Now, Jones also would do produce four singles for Leslie Gore, including "It's My Party." He also produced "Judy's Turn to Cry," "She's a Fool," and "You Don't Own Me." He also produced it for Gore until 1966, including the hits "Look of Love" and "Maybe I Know." And around 1975, he founded Quest Productions, in which he arranged and successfully produced albums for Frank Sinatra and many others. He also produced the soundtrack to The Wiz, the funky version of The Wizard of Oz, which featured Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, and Richard Pryor as well. And he also did his debut as a film producer for The Color Purple from 1985, which featured Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey. That movie
He's he,
received it.
he
Go ahead.
oh, he's done it all. I mean, he really has done it all. Some people just have done music, you know, some people just done film. He's done literally everything. It's crazy.
Yes, in fact, here's something else. Jones, Jones, Thomas Newton, and John Williams have written scores. This is the first time four different composers was featured or written scores in a Steven Spielberg directed feature film. The other three that I've just mentioned, Thomas Newton, John Williams, who, as you know, did the scores for Superman at Star Wars, his biggest opus out
Now,
there.
if he wouldn't have done sports, Quincy, you would have been a triple threat talent if he done did sports. Because if you just list all his accolades, and in his accolades, if you want to put sports, this man would have been a powerhouse motherfucker.
Oh, he would have. I can imagine what
He would have been a
composition.
powerhouse.
Oh man, you know what kind of funny? If he were to compose theme music for ABC's Worldwide of Sports,
Right.
that theme would have been nonstop for centuries.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
I'm
mean,
actually surprised. I'm surprised he didn't create like a, you know, like a Monday Night Football theme or anything like that. I'm actually kind of surprised about that.
it was kind of interesting. But you know what? Like we said, if he did, they would last in the back of our heads for a lifetime.
For
Yeah.
real. The man was just, oh my God. God rest you. God rest Quincy, man.
Yes. In fact, here's something else. We all know the story behind "We Are the World" by the project Live by the project Band Aid. Not really
Yeah.
Band. No, USA for Africa. That was the name of the project. It's hard to get. I got confused because there was so many charitable singles out there coming out around that time to
What?
help
Which one
Ethiopia.
was? Which one was "We're Stars"? Was that Hearing Aid or was
Yes,
it
that
Band?
was Hearing Aid. That
Here?
was that was
Yeah.
that was done by Ronnie James Dio. He organized a lot of heavy metal stars like Yngwie Malmsteen, Rob Halford, members of Quiet Riot, his band Dio, and many others. It was to prove that not all heavy metal musicians were devil worshippers, Satanists, and all that. Now, I don't know if the project did any well or anything like that, but like I was about to say, so many people were coming together to benefit Ethiopia, including many Canadian stars called Northern Lights, including the likes of Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, and many others.
Yeah, there's been some cool ones. Actually, a lot of great songs came out of some of these like charitable like things. I don't know if you ever heard Sun City.
Yes,
Against
little
yeah, that
Stephen
was pretty
Van
good.
Zandt. That was a
Yes, yeah,
that was a call out to the apartheid movement in South Africa going on
y'all,
around that time.
great song. It's a
It did.
rocking song.
Yes, and it had a message as well. Another message you want to message type song you want to check out was a group. I think it's called the Selector. They had a song called "Free Nelson Mandela." Locked up in
Mm,
captivity for about 22 years until they decided to release him. And I
mm.
remember my mom saying to me, they made a big mistake letting him out because his opposition, his opponent was the apartheid system going on in South Africa. So now he's became, I guess, a president of South Africa, and guess and now I guess apartheid is doomed. Now
Yeah,
for the
I was a little too young to even like get involved in any of that. I just learned about it after the fact. You know, that really
yes.
wasn't. That was a little after, or a little before my time, rather.
All right, there. Now we all know the. I was going back to the We Are the World. It was to raise money for the victims of famine in the country of Ethiopia. When people marveled at his ability to make the collaboration work, Jones explained that he had to tape a sign on the entrance reading, "Check your ego at the door." No egos, no diva bullshit. Let's do this thing. Let's come together to make a record. And this was inspired by the Band Aid single, "Do They Know It's Christmas," which came out a year before for the same
Great song.
purpose, featuring various British stars. U2, Duran Duran, Boy George, Culture Club, Major, you name it.
Oh,
And the
that's a
man
great
behind,
song,
and
man.
the man
That's a good
behind,
one.
and no doubt that's going to be played for this come in. That usually does get played a lot to this day at various radio stations across the station. In fact, it's probably played right now at some of these
Yeah,
soft rock stations because from the November to the end of December, that's when they play nothing but Christmas tunes.
yeah, it's probably playing that. I mean, that's a great one. Bono's line in there. Thank God tonight it's them instead of you. I mean, that song hits super, super hard. I love that track.
Exactly. Exactly. He also said that in regarding to the check your ego sign that he posted at the door, he said, "We don't want to make a hunger record in tuxedos, require participants to wear casual clothing in the studio." Now, in 1986, he started off Quest Entertainment to produce feature films. Through Quest Film and Television, he launched a home video label called Quest Home Video in order to manage the home video titles being made in the studio. Quest Entertainment continued to operate under their pre-existing subsidiaries, I guess it's pronounced, like Quest Records. You heard of that record label. There also was Quincy Jones Productions and Quest Music Publishing. Now, Quest Records, that is a list of unique artists. One of them is the group New Order, featuring members of the
Ooh,
then disbanded Joy Division.
ooh.
Albums like Power, Corruption, and Lies, the single Blue Monday. When that
Oh
label
yeah.
was established, New Order was one of the first acts to sign on to that label. In fact, one of the first albums they put out on that roster was an album called Low Life that came out in 1985. And a couple other earlier releases that they had out, including the hit Blue Monday, would later merge on that album on that label as well. At that time, Quest would release a Joy Division compilation called Substance.
Yeah, Blue Monday is a classic song, later covered by 4G
Yes,
in
I
the
remember
90s.
that version as well. Both songs are easily sing alongable to and still remains. In fact, a couple of times at the castle when they go there, they still play that song during the retro segment of the DJ shift.
Oh, it's still very popular. That song still gets a lot of airplay. People I feel like young people even know that song. Like it's still
Yep,
pretty popular. It's relevant.
exactly. To this day. Now he also started signed a Quincy Jones Entertainment. The company signed a 10 picture deal with Warner Brothers and a 2 series deal with NBC Productions. The television show, The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, featured Will Smith in his acting debut. That was in 1990, while In the House on NBC and UPN aired from 1995 to 1999. Jones also produced first run syndication shows like The Jenny Jones Show, Mad TV on Fox TV, which ran for 14 seasons. In the early 90s, he started an ongoing project called The Evolution of Black Music. And it also started a weekly talk show with Reverend Jesse Jackson as the host. I think I remember seeing a few episodes of that program myself. Now in
Yeah, I
the
never saw
19
that show.
mm, I remember in the 1970s, Jones had tried to convince trumpeter icon Miles Davis to revive the music he recorded on several classic albums in the 1950s, which was arranged by a dude named Gil Evans. Davis always refused, citing a desire to avoid revisiting the past. Now, in 1991, Davis relented. Despite having pneumonia, he agreed to perform the music at the Montreux Jazz Festival. The recording, Miles and Quincy Live in Montreux, was his last album. He died several months afterwards. Jones Quincy also had a brief appearance in the 1990 video for the song Jerk Out by Morris Day and the Time, and was a guest actor on an episode of The Boondocks. He appeared with Ray Charles in the music video for their song One Mint Julep, which also with Ray Charles and Shaka Khan in the music video for the song I'll Be Good to You. Jones also hosted an episode of Saturday Night Live on February of 1990 during the 15th season, and the episode was notable for having 10 musical guests, the most that any episode of Saturday Night Live has ever had during its years on the air, including Andrea Crouch, Sandra Crouch, Kumo D, Big Daddy Kane, Melly Mel, Quincy D. III, Saida Garrett, Al Jarreau, the group Take Six, and the man we just mentioned earlier, Tevin Campbell. And also he impersonated Marion Barry in one of the SNL skits, in a recurring sketch called the Bob Waltman Special. He would later produce his own sketch comedy show, Mad TV, which ran from 1995 to 2009.
Quincy Jones produced Mad TV.
Yeah, but when I read about this earlier, I was like, wow, interesting. This man's like everywhere, nonstop, dude.
Dude, that's huge. I mean, Mad TV was fucking top tier comedy, dude. That show was amazing. I don't know if you ever watched Mad TV back in the
I
day,
have
but
seen it. I have seen it, definitely. I've seen a few episodes where one of the actors, Will Sasso, impersonated Stone Cold Steve Austin.
yes, he also did. Kenny Rogers does Jackass. It is absolutely the funniest thing
Oh,
I've ever
dude,
watched in my
yes.
life. So funny. So yeah, Quincy Jones producing Mad TV. I mean, this guy really. I mean, I hate to say it again, but he's done it all. I was not expecting that at all. Be a
All
good
right there.
trivia question. Be a really good trivia question. Who produced Mad TV?
Now, the man is now, the fit to say that the man was a busybody would be an understatement with what I'm about to read you. In 2007, Michael Jackson was asked would he work with Quincy Jones again. He said, quote, man, please, we already did that. I have talked to him about working with him again, but I've got too much to do. I've got 900 products. I'm 74 years old. Quincy's saying that, by the way. Following Jackson's death in June of 2009, Jones said, I am absolutely devastated by this tragic and unexpected news. For Michael to be taken away from us so suddenly at such a young age, he is 50 years old, by the way, I just don't have the words. Definity brought our souls together on The Wiz and allowed us to do what we were able to do throughout the 80s. To this day, the music that we created together on Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad is played on every corner of the world. And the reason for that is because he had it all: talent, grace, professionalism, and dedication. He was the entertainer of all times, and his contributions to and his legacy will forever be felt upon the world. I lost my little brother today, and part of my soul has gone with him. Well, Quincy and Michael are now together in music heaven, creating new joints together, I guess. Now he
Yeah,
also
it's unfortunate. I think when you have such a powerful dynamic like that, to
Mhm.
revisit something like that, it can almost feel forced and fake because you're trying to recreate what you had before that was actually natural. So I can
Yes,
understand why Michael didn't want to go back and do that.
yeah, exactly. I think also at that time around 1991, many people were complaining that Bad was way too poppy, not enough black structure, not enough urban installments into his music. Around that time, after that record came out, Black Power, Black awareness became the main focus of rap music at that time. I mean, like when you think about it, especially in the New Jack Swing era, many black men and women were sporting Gumby hairdos, but wearing black images, black medallions, cross-color clothing, spreading word about, black awareness and black power. And I guess Michael felt it was time to change his game a little bit. That's why the album Dangerous, which came out in 1991, sounded a lot more hip hop ish, a lot more New Jack ish. It was a different change of pace. He basically had to reinvent himself.
Very interesting. Did you grow up seeing that in person, Earl? Did you grow up seeing that change from Michael Jackson? Because
Yes,
again,
I
I was
grew
a
up.
little bit young.
Oh, I've seen a lot around me. I usually pay attention whatever's going on in pop culture, whether it's this scenario in heavy metal or that particular trend going on. Like I still remember the acid house trend that briefly was here in the U.S. and in the U.K.
That's awesome, man, to live through that. See, a lot of things and a lot of music I love. I have to kind of go back and read about it, and I didn't get a chance to live through a lot of, you know, great times in music, unfortunately, because we are not going through great times in music now. It is
I know
dry
it's like
period.
I know that's why I prefer to keep my music taste, in the yesteryear range because a lot of the stuff out there nowadays just doesn't really try just doesn't cut it. It just doesn't do the thing no more. There are bands that are trying to do the thing, but it's not doing well, no matter what. This makes no
Well,
sense.
I think the main thing is the machine. The machine is no longer behind artists who are up and coming and artists who are actually creating their own music. The machine is creating artists now itself. It's not trusting people like your Kurt Cobains or your people with actual brains who want to come up with music and be talented. It's the labels and it's the really the music machine creating industry plants they call them and
Yeah,
pushing them out there with huge songwriting teams and shit. It's not about the little guy anymore and the guy in this bedroom with a guitar
yeah.
writing music. It's not about that anymore,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
but then again, that's how record labels think about everybody else. They figure like they got to concentrate on the what's going to look good, what's going to sell, what's going to how popish they sound, how cute they look as well. It's like, but then again, most record labels are dipshits anyways. When you think about it, there, I still can't get over the fact that they were willing to sign a fake ass act like Milli Vanilli back in the day for crying out loud, and the people who actually bought into Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, no. And
That was
Milli
the
Vanilli had
worst.
some great. They had some great music, in my opinion. I love "Blame It on the Rain." It's like an amazing song. Like I love a lot of Milli Vanilli music, but yeah, to buy into that, you'd have to be a damn fool.
Yeah.
But the public is made up of fools, to be honest. So it's kind of
Yep.
easy to dupe the public. It's really
Yeah,
not
because
hard.
like I said many times, the public is mostly mainstream, and they don't know anything about what's on the underground until it's presented for them, and then they treat it like it's a big trend. Like said this to YR a few times. Like Judas
Yeah,
Priest, his favorite band. Ask any mainstream person out there what songs they know from Judas Priest. They'll tell you either Living After Midnight or Breaking the Law, but yet are completely unaware of Sinner, Descendant Aggressor, or maybe Night Comes Down, or Beyond the Realms of Death.
the Sentinel.
Yep, absolutely. Or the same thing with Black Sabbath. They'll know Paranoid, War Pigs, Children of the Grave, but are like "Duh," when it comes to symptoms of the universe, hole in the
Spiral
sky.
Architect.
Hmm.
Yeah, hey, but answer me this: if you took a band like Judas Priest or Black Sabbath and placed them in 2024, like, do you think they're going anywhere? Because I don't think so. Because it took a while for Judas Priest to get that whole hell bent for leather persona under them and stuff. They had to have a label, and people take chances on them and allow them to grow as a band. Like nowadays, I don't know if you put a band like Judas Priest or Black Sabbath out there, if they're gonna actually make a mark like they did. Because a lot of it is just a right place, right time in
Yes.
history, really. So I think those guys just have their right place and right time. And unfortunately, yeah, you're not going to get too many because, like I said, I'm in a rock band nowadays, and like I'm writing music, I've released music, and yeah, we got some airplay and stuff, but it's not like it used to be, man. It's really not like a lot of these rock and roll acts and stuff, or even a lot of R&B and especially blues acts. I mean, shit, there's no new music being made and heard. Half the blues guys, they're all playing fucking shit from 70 years ago. And
And what
it's
pisses
just
me
a
off,
shame.
is we got so many people out there who buy into this crap because they're
Yeah, all
completely
these
unaware.
all these fucking tribute bands are killing original music, and where are we gonna be like in 50 years? Like, are we? What's music gonna be like in 50 years? Are the Beatles even gonna be remembered? Is Led Zeppelin even gonna be a thing? Like, because I feel like a lot of this generation doesn't even know that music. And
Well, a lot of it
uh,
does actually know Led Zeppelin and the Beatles because their albums keep being played on the streaming services like Apple Music, Spotify. They're still played on various radio stations, like the one we have at our job. They played the Immigrant Song a few times, as well as Whole Lot of Love and All My Love. They played those a couple times in the past. And plus, Spotify is going to continue to play the Beatles and all the old stuff there. No doubt
I know,
about
but
it. So,
the
yeah,
influence though, I feel like the influence kind of dwindles as each generation goes by. So eventually, like, is this all we're stuck with? Is fucking Led Zeppelin, a whole lot of love? Like, you know what I mean? There's more rock music being made out there that's interesting, but it's just the music machine no longer invests in rock music, and like I said, they no longer invest in people writing songs and actually being creative. It's all about the music industry
You know
making the
why?
stars themselves.
Because they feel like the artists will get smart enough to want to own their masters. And they feel like, okay, if we write the songs for these rock stars, for these pop stars, we kind of own it because we wrote it, we created it. Now, if you're an artist that is writing and creating, it's kind of your work, you know what I'm saying? Which
yes,
means if you own your work as an artist, what are these writers and record labels needed for? Because technically, if you own everything as your own independent artist, then they don't exist because they're out of work because the artist is now capable of managing, well, their own. So with that being said, these big record companies, they don't exist because the artist is able to navigate themselves with their own art. Like you own your own art, you get to do whatever the fuck you want to do with your art.
that is
And these
true.
record labels that sign you, they're going to be pissed because they can't control you. It's all about control and what makes
Exactly,
money. It's the clunk. It's the clunk in the
exactly,
machine. If there's no control, then they don't exist. It's just that simple, Paul. Is that
Well,
they don't
I know,
exist if they can't
I
control you.
understand that. I understand that, and I run a band, and I know what it is to be independent and do all the shit. Trust me,
Exactly. But
though,
when you're independent,
it's
what
exhausting.
good
It's
is they doing? You know
exhausting,
what I'm
and
saying?
what they're doing is giving exposure, and they're giving a platform and putting you out there in the mainstream. But instead, we have motherfuckers like Billie Eilish and trash like that shit that they make. And I guess like you're right, they have the rights to the songs, and that's what I'm saying. They don't want to invest into creativity anymore. It's all about money, and it's not about making
It's
actual
about
art.
image and everything else. And by the way, there are a lot of artists out there who do own the rights to their music. John Mellencamp, Pink Floyd, King Crimson, Iron Maiden, Bruce Springsteen, Dave did. They're still around. They're still making music and they're still
Pink
performing
Floyd
it.
sold their catalog, bro. Pink Floyd sold their catalog, and a bunch of artists are actually selling off their catalog to Sony for millions and millions and millions of dollars, bro. The game is
Mm,
up. I'm telling you, bro. The game is up. Songwriting is up. If you made money on it, God bless you. I mean, that's pretty much where it's at right now, dude. It's really fucked up. Like I said, I'm in the community. I'm really where you can make money, and like the only place to make money now is live music and touring
I
and shit
know.
like that,
And
and that's
merchandise as
exhausting.
well. That's how the
Yeah, oh,
band Rat
merchandise.
was functioning for the past few years. That's touring and merchandise, nothing else.
Yeah, yes, merch will get you far, that's for sure. You definitely need merchandise. But some
Yeah,
of these
that's true.
venues you play, you get a certain level. Some of these venues want to take a percentage of your merch sales and shit. So it never fucking ends, bro. It's really tough, really, really tough to be a rock band or even a hard rock band in 2024. It's very tough.
I
So
know.
that's what I'm saying.
Uh,
What are we gonna be stuck with? And fucking, am I really gonna be listening to fucking Led Zeppelin on the radio like in 30 years? Like again with no other new rock bands ever? Like I don't know, man. It's disgusting to me where we're at musically. I don't want to fucking listen to Billie Eilish. I don't want to listen to fucking Post Malone. Like go fuck yourself with all that shit, brother.
let
Like I don't
alone
want to hear.
Jelly Roll. It's like, gosh,
Oh,
I finally heard this version of Mama I'm Coming Home, and I'm sorry.
oh.
No, 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 Jelly Roll, forget it, dude.
Yeah,
You couldn't
what I
cut the
want to listen to, I
cheese.
want to listen to more rock. I want to listen to more Lenny Kravitz. I want to listen to Billy Idol. I want to listen to Guns N' Roses. I want to listen to Motley Crue. I want to listen to old school. I want that to come back. I want the old school vibe to come back.
But
You
I,
and
Prince,
me both, dude.
let me
they're
ask you this.
tearing down Paul three. They want to tear down the historic buildings in California, like the Viper Room, the Rainbow, the Whiskey and Go Go. They want to get rid of those buildings. Those
Really?
buildings are
Well,
history, man.
would you
They're
support
history.
like okay, yeah, you want those bands to come back, but I'm talking about like there are rock bands now that are making music and shit like that that just need like kind of some ears and like there's some like my band is like pretty good, but like there's like a band I know from Ohio with a female fronted they're called the Vindies. I'll just throw it out there. And they're actually like pretty decently big, but they haven't like hit mainstream yet. So I mean like you can kind of do it. But that's what I'm saying. Like you guys probably never heard of them. But like why aren't we hearing about bands like that and prioritizing bands like that? I'm not even gonna say my own band, but like there are other bands that should be out there in the rock scene. But instead we're stuck with fucking Guns N' Roses, and I'm not saying that's bad, but god damn it, like think about when we got Guns N' Roses. We were how many years removed from Led Zeppelin? We were progressing. We were getting new music. What are we getting now? Fucking
Not
nothing, because
much. Not
the
much, guys.
mainstream is not pushing any fucking rock music out there. That's why rock music needs record labels. Unfortunately, is because they have the ear of the public, and that's what sucks.
Yes, and right now the majority of labels out there are usually independent, small labels like Big Machine Records or Republic Records under one big distributor, which is Universal at this moment.
I just wish Sony would fucking invest into upcoming artists, man. Like, I wish they would just sign like fucking 5,000 new artists or something crazy like that. They literally have the money and the capabilities to do it. You would just get so much new music, fucking hits, talent. I mean, wow, that would change the entire landscape of the music industry and really it just would change society. It would be so fucking awesome. Could
It
you
would be
imagine?
nice, I
But
agree.
but no, no, we'll just have recycled fucking garbage pop stars over and over again with the same old bullshit. That's what we're gonna have. For how long though? How long is that gonna last, brother? Disgusted.
Hopefully not very long before everybody realizes, hey, what we're getting right now is a load of shit. Hey, you record labels out there with your noses up in the air and your fingers up your ass, feeling your heartbeat, let alone your pacemaker. Just you'll get out there and start developing like you used to, man.
Dude, you know
Instead,
what? With my fucking luck, that shit will happen in 20 years, and then I'll be fucking old, and nobody will want me by then, and then I'll have missed it by fucking 20 years, being too fucking old and too young, and I'll just want to die at them. Fuck.
I know.
It's tough, Earl. I'm telling you, man. Like, you know what? I'm gonna send you, and I can send Prince it too. I'm gonna send you some links to my band's music, and like I said,
Um,
we're a rock
Yes,
band
definitely
here,
want to
you
check.
know, and
Yeah, but you definitely want
I
to
don't
check
really
out.
like Sony. Fuck Sony. I don't really like Time Warner Brother. Fuck Time Warner Brother. I don't like those companies because those companies didn't know how to give freedom of control when they had such good talent. And I'm talking about talent like Michael Jackson, Sony, Warner Brothers.
yeah.
So fuck them. Fuck them.
Yeah.
And I hope they let go back and listen to this YouTube video one day and realize Prince Idol said, take your fucking records and stick it up your fucking ass. Fuck you guys. You don't know good talent.
Dude.
What are they gonna do? They want to kill me?
Well,
Fuck them. Fuck the elites. Fuck them.
probably they sure have the money to do it, so they probably would.
Fuck 'em.
Now they have the they could listen. There's people out there and there's money out there. You know, you could solve world hunger if you really, or you know, the hunger in the United States if you really wanted
They don't
to.
know
It's
what
not that
talent is,
expensive,
bro.
but
Sony don't
people
know what
won't do
talent
it.
is. They don't know what
No,
talent is. Time Warner don't know what talent is. 'Cause if they did know what talent is, they wouldn't allow Prince to do what he needed to do. They wouldn't allow Michael Jackson to do what he did. They don't know what talent is. They don't know.
The only thing concerned about is record sales and nothing else.
Exactly.
Sell
And
records,
what makes
sell
the
records,
clock
sell
go round and
records.
round and round, right?
Keep it
It's all about
repeating no
like
matter
Wall Street
what.
said, it's all about the fucking machine.
Exactly.
The
well, that's why
machine
I'm
is not
saying.
Another
wrong,
big
bro.
example is Britney Spears. Remember the
Mhm.
situation that was going on back in the 2007 when she was having that breakdown, that period when she was flipping out left and right.
Oh boy, oh boy. When she shaved her
When
Oh
head and
yeah, yeah, I remember. You know,
I
yeah,
remember that shit.
all that bullshit started. It came about after she married Kevin Federline. Now, yeah, we know Kevin
Now,
Federline
Earl,
was an
can I
idiot,
can I go ahead and make the announcement because I've been dying to get this out my system. I've been dying
right?
to get out the system, and I know certain people ain't gonna like this, but I Prince Idol have to be an asshole, and I gotta say it. Go fucking Trump, baby! Go fucking Trump!
What?
Go Trump, baby!
Oh
If you don't like
gosh.
it, tough shit. But I gotta say, go Trump, go Trump, go! I gotta say
All
that. I
right,
gotta
there you
say.
go. That's a good thing that occurred the earlier this week. Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness.
You don't like it, tough shit. Go Trump.
Exactly. And that goes all the weenie bags out there who are complaining on Facebook. I've
Because
seen
I
a
know
few of that.
for one thing, Earl, me and YR were happy when that man won. We were crying tears of joy.
Oh, we knew it was going to win because Kamala didn't have shit for Shingo to her credit.
Doesn't have any money to give to the community. She doesn't have any money to give to the economy. She can't help us. She can't help us
Exactly.
suffering
No.
tax people. She can't help them.
now
Yes.
She gave
Prince
her money
as
away.
Mhm.
Prince as one of the 26% of black men that voted for Trump. So were you kind of like insulted by Kamala trying to play like the race card,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe she was
I
also
was.
offering, you know, black
I
men, I
felt
think
like
black men and
that
women
was a
twenty
slap.
thousand.
That was a slap to my face because she's not black. She's actually Indian. Her mother is Indian. Now her
Mhm.
dad may be Jamaican. That's fine and dandy, but don't sit here and act like you're fully black. You're half. You're like probably like 2% black, but 100% Indian. Like don't do that. Come on, Kamal, don't do that. That ain't right.
Yeah,
Don't do that. That's like a
yeah.
Chinese man saying, "Oh, I'm black." Ridiculous.
Well, I mean that comes from you. I would never, like I said, I have nothing to do with that. I have no place in that, but I just appreciate your take on it because yeah, and I think really Trump got a way higher black vote than and his wasn't like too high, but it was way higher than the Biden race in 2020. So I mean, a lot of people really woke up. I feel like on the Republican side and saw that the Democrats
Like
are full of shit.
I put
If
it
we were to
like
live
I
Exactly.
through
A
put it
lot
another
of
40
people
years of that,
realized
my
that
God,
during Biden's administration.
it's
we
almost
couldn't
like I
take
put it
another
to you
four
in a
years.
very funny way. It's almost like YR going to Target and him going down the baby section and picking up baby oil and then claiming that he's P Diddy.
Hmm.
That's what it's like. All three.
Oh man.
That's what it would be.
Oh my God.
Now
I
let's
would
go
love
back
to
to
see
Quincy.
that.
All right, now let's go back to Quincy Jones in his personal life. Now he was married 3 times and had 7 children with 5 different women. He was married to Jerry Caldwell from 1957 to 1966. They had a daughter named Jolie. He had a brief affair with Carol Reynolds, and they had a daughter together named Rachel. He was later married to a Swedish actress, Ulla Andersson, from 67 to 74. They had a daughter named Martina and a son also named Quincy, who also became a music producer himself. And then after the day after his divorce from Anderson, Jones had married American actress Peggy Lipton, one of the stars of the TV show The Mod Squad. They had 2 daughters, both whom which became actresses. They divorced in 1990. He later dated and lived with German actress Natasha Kinski from 91 to 95. They had a daughter named Kenya, who became a fashion model. And in an interview with New York Magazine, Quincy stated that he even dated Ivanka Trump.
Mm.
Whoa. He was slanging dick everywhere, bro.
And
Damn.
here's something else. Tupac Shakur in 1994 criticized Quincy Jones for having relationships with white women, prompting Jones's daughter Rashida to pen a scathing open letter in response, which was published in the Source magazine.
Mm.
Jones's other daughter, developed a romantic relationship with Tupac and had been living with him for 4 months at the time of his death. They were also engaged.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, there. I don't want to bring anything up because the man has passed, and you don't
Hmm.
want to ever say anything bad about a dead person. But there are like some of those like dark Hollywood rumors, we'll just call them,
Hmm.
associated with Quincy Jones as well. So I mean, yeah, he was promiscuous to say the least. I would say.
Yeah, he was a thick singer, like you said. Like now,
Oh yeah.
no doubt about. But then again, a lot of other stars at that time were just as well, like Jack Nicholson, apparently Leonardo DiCaprio, and a few. Warren Beatty, he was one of the biggest ones, no doubt about that. Burt Reynolds, maybe as well. In
Yeah.
1974, Quincy developed a life-threatening brain aneurysm, leading to a decision to reduce his workload to spend time with his friends and his family. Since his family and friends believed that his life was coming to an end, they started to plan a memorial service for him. He attended his own service with his neurologist by his side. That's a trip to see. Just in case excitement overwhelmed him. Some of the entertainers included Sidney Poitier, Sarah Vaughan, Marvin Gaye, Richard Pryor, and he also had 2 brain surgeries. After the second one, was warned to never play the trumpet again, and because if he blew a trumpet in the ways that a trumpet player must, the clip could come the clip would come free and he would die. He ignored that advice and went on tour in Japan, and that one night after playing trumpet had a pain in his head. Doctors said the clip in his brain had nearly came loose. As they warned, Trump Jones never played the trumpet ever again.
Dude, I'm fucking the fact that sitting
Yeah,
with a neurologist at his own memorial is
I know.
funny.
I know. That's what it says here, though. Wikipedia, man. I know.
Dude, if they ever do a movie about his life, I hope that fucking scene is in it.
But there was a documentary
Oh,
called "Q." Listen up, the lives of Quincy Jones that came out many years ago. Everybody from DC Gillespie, Flavor Flav, and everybody else was featured in the documentary.
that's amazing, bro. Yeah, what a life. What a fucking life. Holy shit. So what was that? 1974? So he would have been
Hmm.
1970. He would have been 41 going to his
Hmm.
own memorial with his neurologist.
I
41
know
years old.
exactly.
That is
I know.
so funny, bro.
I know.
Oh,
Shit. Now, he
yeah.
also has shared legal issues as well. In October 2013, the BBC and the Hollywood Reporter said Jones planned to sue Michael Jackson's estate for $10 million. Quincy said that MJJ Productions, a song company managed by the Jackson estate and Sony Music Entertainment, inappropriately re edited songs to deprive him of royalties and production fees
Oh,
and breached an agreement giving him the right to remix master recordings for albums released after Jackson's death. The songs that Quincy produced for Jackson were used in the movie This Is It.
mm.
Jones was reported to be filing the suits against the Jackson Cirque du Soleil shows at the 25th anniversary of the Bad album. He believed that he should have received a producer credit in the film.
He should have. I think he should have. Some sort of credit, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
wrong. Yeah, that's definitely wrong. I mean, I think he was completely in the right for that lawsuit. 100%. I mean, I would have been absolutely pissed off.
Yeah. Now, also keep on. Now, we're about to go. I'm pretty much close to the end of the show. There's a good song on the Back of the Block album that was a big hit on urban radio stations called Your Secret Garden. It featured vocals from El DeBarge, Barry White, and I guess whichever is. Oh yeah, James Ingram. He's featured on that
Hmm.
song as well. It was a big hit. Definitely listen to that. Take your girlfriend or wife by your side and slow dance to that without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to check that one out. But yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, what a life. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff there. I mean, phew, I have a feeling there's a lot more funny stories like that probably if you really get into Quincy's life, really, really hard. But yeah, the man was born in 1933. It's kind of
Hmm.
crazy that he
And he
was,
passed away this past Sunday,
yep,
91 years
still
old
around.
at the time of his passing. No doubt,
Wow, wow.
like you said, the man has done it all. No, definitely.
Yep, yep. You're not gonna see too many Quincy Jones ever again because people just, like I said, just creativity uh, as a whole is at an all-time low. So, and Quincy was a creative man. He had a lot of creative endeavors, shows, themes, songs, albums, ideas. I mean,
Movie
my goodness, he was a
scores.
treasure.
Let's also not forget
Yes.
he did the opening the score for the opening episode of the miniseries Roots back in 1977. That,
Wow, wow,
that
wow,
featured
wow.
LeVar Burton, who later go on to star in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes, Kunta Kinte. Yes, Kunta Kinte.
Yeah,
Ain't
who's
that,
been? I know.
ain't that something though, man? Well, like I said, it's been a crazy life, that's for sure. Crazy,
It was.
awesome life. I'm actually arriving here to my destination in a little bit,
Okay,
but
and we're
yeah,
about to close out the show anyway, so we're almost close to an hour here. So, Prince, thank you for
Yes,
coming
sir.
on and paying this tribute to the BQ. Thank you as well, Paul, for coming on as well to doing
thank you.
this. All
Thank
right,
you,
there.
sir.
And it's a little message to our boy YR. Hope to see you back soon, brother.
Yes.
Well, we love you, man. We know you're
Love you,
listening
dude.
out there. Don't
All
let
right, there.
anybody get you down, bro. Don't let anybody fucking. Prince, if you don't know the situation I'm talking about, man, feel free to ask YR or PM me about it. We'll get you filled in.
Or
Maybe you could
contact
actually
Bob
help
Off
out with
Ken.
that.
Bob Off
Yeah,
Ken
or
as
can.
well. Yeah.
Yes, or can. So we'll get you filled in on that because, yeah, what's happening is definitely not right. I miss YR. He's a good person, man. He's not who
He'll
they
be
say
back
he is.
soon. I know that. I figure I think he'll be back soon, no doubt about it.
Don't worry, don't worry. You got one of the best co-hosts, producers in the game. I will hold it down while you're gone. YR, I know you're listening. Prince Idol will hold it down as Prince Idol does. So you know you can trust me. I co-host your show many of times, an Earl show and other shows. So you're working with one of the best. I hope to be like Quincy Jones. Yeah, I said it. I hope to be like Quincy Jones. I hope to accomplish the things and carry the legacy of Quincy Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, I miss you, Quincy Jones. You are missed. You are loved. You're a genius, and I hope to follow in those footsteps. Love you, Quincy.
Thank you,
Beautiful
Quincy
words,
Jones.
brother. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you. All right, there. Rest in peace to you, Mr. Quincy Jones. Thank you, sir, for your accomplishments throughout the entertainment industry for the past 7 decades. For Prince Idol, for Paul Tree, and for myself, you have yourselves a good Thursday evening. This concludes our episode of Music Maniacs. And we'll see you next week. All right.
Sir.
All right, there.
Yes.
Subscribe to my channel, hit that like button and notification bell. Everybody have a good evening. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.